excellence.
Welcome back. I think we're on number 8, Ghetto Runways. We're going to lose the pod in a second. We appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us. The response has been overwhelming, and it's just been a lot of love, so thank you. Please, I apologize. Like, comment, subscribe. We never say that, but we realize the importance of that, and we need y'all just to keep this going. What's up, twin?
Man, what's happening with you, man?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
You look great, like you always do.
You know, I had to take it back to the roots today.
I love it, man. Keep going.
That's it. And man, Zo, I think they're gonna love it. I think they're gonna love. Y'all gonna love what we got going today.
Yeah.
So you know where we from.
Absolutely.
You know where we from, man. The hip hop culture, the street culture, the music. Is you know, this next guest, he embodies everything that we love, being from Chicago, being from the streets.
Yes,
there was a time when you would see his work and you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I said, we grew up in the Pelly era,
yeah.
You know, and you never really knew, but you're like, it's something different.
Yeah.
It's something different about this guy, you know? And like, for some of y'all out there, you might have saw with Mike first. Some other guys you might have saw with Cameron first. We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, he's here to tell us.
Yes, please.
Jeff Hamilton.
What's up, Jeff, man? How you feeling, man?
My brother, thank
Pleasure.
you. Honor with
you
you
doing,
guys. Thank you for
Yes,
the opportunity to share my stories with you guys.
Listen, man. So we ain't gonna get right to it in a second, but we just honored first off, just because we, like you said, man, we know so much about you, man. I felt like it was important that the world know, because your history and what you mean to the culture. And I'm saying this before the interview even started, man. You're probably the most humblest superstar I've ever met in my life, man. So from day one, it's like, yo, it's important. You was on the mood board as well. And let's just get to it, man. And what you got for him, twin? What you thinking?
So, man, Jeff, we're gonna get right to it. Who is Jeff Hamilton? You know, like the world, you know, we see you out. You know what I'm saying? You're a good guy, good looking guy, smooth, suave. Give us the roots of Jeff Hamilton.
I'm a happy person right now. I found exactly where I want to be. I'm 69 years old. I moved like I'm 20 years old. I grew up in Africa. I was born in Africa, Jewish, Moroccan, and moved to France when I was 10 years old. My biggest dream in life was to become an accountant. So I grew up as a nerd growing up. So I really just put all my effort into become a good student and try to be well educated and really just be respectful of people and learning values. And but as I kept on getting older, I love rock and roll and I love America and I love the culture of America at the time, you know, with the college T-shirts and I didn't know anything about basketball. I didn't know anything about the NBA, but I love basketball. And growing up in my room, I had a poster of Will Chamberlain, a poster of Lou Alcindor, a poster of Jerry West. And for me, it was like I look at it and I was looking at it and dreaming that, you know, not only I could play because I always wanted to play basketball, which, you know, I was a decent player considering my age and living in France. You know, when I came to America, that was a different story. And my dream was always to be in America. So I wanted to grow very fast because I didn't enjoy my youth. I didn't have a lot of friends. Like I said, I was very, I loved my family, but I was not a popular kid, you know. So I got married when I was 19 years old. And I decided to move to America, and I didn't care. I was going to move, so I came completely legal. I was 24 years old. I came as a tourist and I crashed it. Basically, I mean, I don't know if it's politically correct now to do it, but, I was an illegal immigrant. And I came in. The blessing I had was, I was French, but I spoke fluently Spanish. I could kind of like maneuver a little bit in English, but people did not know much about. I could not really write and read as well English as I knew French or Spanish, but I didn't know what to do because still my dream was to become a CPA, but I love fashion. I still dressed okay, I still, you know, I mean, way before the Nike world came in. I mean, I wore the Gazelles and I wore the 501s and I love the American sweatshirt and from me being born Joseph, I mean, when I was 8 years old, I changed it to Jeff. And when I was a kid in Paris, I mean, the only word I knew how to pronounce very well in English was Houston, because my aunt lived in Houston, and people in France used to call Houston. Me, I knew how to say Houston. Right. So people, when I said that, and it was only to pick up girls when I was 14 or 15 years old. That's all I was trying to kind of impress them. Right. And I'm not saying I was picking them up, but I was only trying to impress them. And then when I was 24, I made a move. I moved to America with $6,000 and a wife and two kids, and not knowing what I was going to do. Wow. And I knew I was illegal. Nobody would hire me. And I basically, for lack of a better word, I start hustling, hustling it, but not in a sense that I was doing anything illegal. I was go-getting. Go-getting is too...
Figuring it out.
It's just too light because I was hungry. Yeah. I was really hungry. I wanted to do... I really was motivated. The truth is, at the time, I was not motivated by legacy, values. I was motivated by money. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to prove my whole family and my former in-laws' family that I was going in, and I didn't care. That was during the time Car Wash, maybe the movie came out maybe 7-8 years before that. I said, I'll go and work in a car wash. Right. That's not going to stop me, but I'll never come back. I'll never give up. Right. And through the values of me being a good student and being educated, that I think I am, I really learned the discipline of basically learned how to be disciplined. And I really never got scared by working hard. I mean, and I really realized that this is one of the gifts that God and the universe gives us as human beings, that we can work as hard as we want. Nobody's going to tell us anything. We might not work smart. We might make mistakes when you work. You might have talent. You might not have talent, and you might not be. That work might be wasted in vain. But you still have the ability to, if you want to build a wall, you can put a brick at a time, and brick at a time, and before you know it, a few months go by, a year go by, a wall is built up. So it's kind of like, I always live by that precept. Of course, I wish I knew more today what I knew before, where, it's not only about working hard, it's also about working smart, and not, sometimes you don't want to run, you want to walk, you just, if you run, you're going to get faster to the destination, yet you're going to be, there's more chances you're going to fall. When you walk slowly and you work intelligently, you work smart, you do that. So those have become my number 2 precepts of how I live my life. And then I rediscovered that really in a strong way only 5 years ago, that all of us, every human being on this earth has one God-given talent. Whether you're on the side of the highway and you know how to pull that squeegee, and I'm obviously taking an extreme, but you're the best squeegee of what you do, and not only you do that, but you are happy doing it, and once you find the things that you love and you're passionate about it, then you've already won. So everybody else says, of course, the fourth element is, oh, you're lucky. Oh, you're lucky. I don't believe in luck. I believe in blessing of God. And like the late John Madden would say, the hardest you work, the luckier you get.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, I feel that if you have the three elements, you work hard, you work smart, and you're passionate. Really, if you're passionate, you don't work, because you wake up every morning hungry to get myself. I get hungry to get to my computer, and I don't care whether I have to do accounting or production or designing. I just don't limit myself to everything, and I love to do it. And then, if you keep things by the rules, I mean, just like I said, do not procrastinate, do not feel entitled, do not do shortcuts. And those are three words I try to push away from my vocabulary. And I believe in karma. Karma is not a line that we use to pick up a girl at a club. I mean, karma is real, and we almost take it too lightly. Every action has a reaction, and when you do something good, you don't know when the result is going to come in. When you plant a seed on the ground, you don't know how quickly that little twig and the little trunk and those branches and those leaves and those fruit is going to come in. Maybe lifetimes.
Like, yeah, whenever it comes. Jeff,
Whenever it comes.
so speaking of passion, right? So obviously you had a passion for fashion. How did you make that pivot from wanting to be an accountant into the fashion world?
I love dressing well. I love to dress differently. I used to go and buy like sailor shoes and baggy jeans, and talking about like in the 70s, and so when I came to America, I really wanted to make a living. Like I said, I was hustling with my definition of hustling. So I would buy from one store, sell to another store, make a living, as long as I had food on the table for my wife and my kids and my family, and I still felt proud of me not having to do anything illegal to try to make my money. I found a lot of pride in it. And then one thing led to the other, and circumstances happen. Like nothing comes by accident. Everything is written. God always has a plan for us, and if you don't believe in God, you have to believe in the universe. But the universe has a plan for us. I ran into people, and you appreciate who they are. You don't take anything for granted. And one of the person I ran into the elevator one time when I was in 1982, and I had a 400 square feet space where I kept my jobbing clothes out that I was buying and selling. Was a good-looking guy, super well dressed, cashmere sweater, red socks, loafers, dress. Was French. Me, was not rich. I mean, certainly not rich and didn't have money, but I still had my pink sweater and my pink socks, and suddenly I found myself when I came to America. I found like I was a new person. I started getting in the sun, working with my tan, and my tan. I still work on my tan, because like for me, it's kind of a filter that I create, like the same way a woman likes to put her lipstick. Myself, I wear my glasses, I have my beard, those are my filters. This is where I like to be. I'm open about it. My white hair. I like to feel this. This is the image. When I look at myself in a mirror, I feel it's a representative of myself. And I like in order for people to like me, I need to like myself. And this is kind of the selfish way of doing it. So I met that person, and kind of like the guy was a very smart guy. He had a woman's line. He was selling blouses, and we kind of like we're speaking our language. There's a comfort level. It's like you're speaking your language. You kind of same heritage. The guy was Jewish. I mean, there's no question that no matter what, we all blend together. We are more comfortable with our own kind, no matter what it is. It's just it's not something that shocks anybody. And his name was George Marciano. His name is George Marciano.
Right.
And
Tell the people who George Marciano is, please.
so George Marciano at the time was George Marciano. He had
Right.
the owner of a blouse company, a woman's blouse company. The only condition he had that every single blouse had to be white.
Oh wow.
And he was all like super designed, but he was mega talented. And I don't have a good relationship with the Marcianos as of today. I mean, after 30, I've left Guess in 1986, so that's like 40 years, 38 years. But I have to say, George Marciano for me was my biggest mentor, because he was kind of well off, relatively, not compared to what Guess became at the time. And he was a founder of Guess Jeans. So to answer your question, yeah. So he founded Guess Jeans, and with his brothers that came in later. But he had a multiple array of talent. Like, he knew about watches, he knew about cars, he knew about beauty, he knew about art, he knew, and kind of like, it inspired me that I was not one dimensional. I really felt like sometimes I see a bag, I use the word high, but not in a druggy way, because like I say, I don't do drugs. But I get high when I see colors. Like when we're talking before the interview, and I was saying going to Morocco, and I see all those colors. Even when I walked into your studio, walking in the street and seeing the light rain and seeing those Chicago building, and I just feel like such a sense of peace that really inspires me to capture it. And so the story is that we became really good friends. His brother moved in. One of his older brother came in. I became closer because he had kids the same age as my kids, and we became best buddies. And then I was not happy what I was doing, jobbing and buying and selling and T-shirts and sweatshirts and making $1 here, $2 here. And luckily enough, I knew the concept of licensing. That was not something that really was very common in 1982. Nobody knew. I mean, everybody knew Pierre Cardin or Bill Blass or things like that. But I kind of knew the concept of licensing. I don't know how, but in France was something that was a little bit more common in the conversation when you talk to people in the fashion, even though I had zero training on fashion. Zero. I didn't even know, to be honest, when I even, so ultimately I got the license for Guess Jeans for Men. And there was a process for me to get that because they really were not familiar with it. So I was able to get it pretty much at a royalty. And when I started, then I said, I have a license. I don't know what to do. I have never designed a thing in my life.
And what age was this, Jeff?
I was 25, 26. Like, I'm already still don't have a green card, still completely legal.
No fashion background.
No fashion background except my own personal taste. My father, I remember, had a heart attack in Paris, and I could not go and see him because if I left, I could not come back. And it was just like difficult times, and but I was getting to be myself and kind of rediscovering and maximizing who I wanted to become as a person, like just building my confidence of me being kind of like the nerd that I grew up in and shy and not being able to speak in front of 3 people, and when I got the guest license, it was January 15, 1983. I kid you not. I mean, this is not romanticizing anything. I did not know you did not need a pattern to create a piece of or garment. I didn't know. I had no idea. I mean, I never even get the thought. I thought you basically, I want to make that sweater.
Mhm.
Okay, so I give it somebody and make me a sweater. I didn't know I needed to create a fit. The
Absolutely.
jeans had to fit in a certain
Uh-huh.
way,
Yeah.
and so I hired one guy, which ultimately became, you know, he became the founder of Seven Jeans. Um, and by the time, to be honest, I mean, I didn't like his designs.
Mm.
You know, I kind of like his work ethics
Yeah.
because he really followed me. I knew that in my heart, I felt like I had an opportunity. God had given me my chance, and I heard the voice, "You go grab it,"
Yeah.
and I just took it.
Right.
And I started working, and I started getting to my office at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I used to be in the building. I don't know if you come to Los Angeles. It's my own, the building was where now the Ace Hotel is.
Okay.
So I was going in. I was waiting at 10 to 6 till the building opened up, and then I would go in, and then I would go through the freight elevator. And then the freight elevator guy said, I know how to do patterns. Can I come and work with you? And I do San Omega, come and work with me.
Mm.
And then he started working with me. And so I was hiring people I didn't know. I mean, at the time I started the company, already I had made, in the first 2 years in America, I had made $22,000. I lied to everybody. I told them I had $100,000. I told everybody I had $80,000. So my opening financial statement showed $80,000. So that table, I bought it at that. If there was a table, I bought it at that on the recycler for $40. I said,
Right.
this is worth $800 on my financial statement. I mean, hopefully this statute of limitation with the IRS that they cannot come back 44 years behind.
People want their money, man.
And
They want it.
and then and basically everything became magical. And I started designing. I didn't like the design, so I went to my closet and I said, well, I like this pair of pants. I like this shirt. Let me make that shirt, but you know what? Let me make that pant, but instead of having just a regular yoke in the pocket, maybe I put like a little piece of leather on it.
Okay.
And I had no idea that you cannot wash and you can stone wash leather
Right.
with pant because
Right.
the leather shrink.
Exactly.
And I said, well, let me just try to get and that's why I think my logical mind of me being a math and a physics guy has helped me out.
Yeah.
I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
For me, there's no, just give me any problem. Let me try to find a solution. That's what gets me happy. So I kind of find a way to do it, and it really became viral. Mind you, we had no Instagram, we had no social media.
Yeah.
There was advertising I could not afford, though the women's side advertised a lot,
Mhm.
and they were able to go out and create amazing advertising.
Mhm.
As much as I say, I don't like the people. I don't care that I wish them always success, the multi-billionaires, God bless them. They deserve it. They were not good people to me. So for me, and again, one piece of wisdom, and like fast forward maybe 40 years later that I rediscovered, I don't care who you are. You could be a busboy in a restaurant, or you could be, like somebody in an airport. Oh, for me, you're the same to me, and you could be a billionaire.
Yeah.
I'm not for sale.
Yeah.
I'm not for sale. That's the reason why I run my business in a certain way that I could be 20 times bigger than I am if I chose to.
Yeah.
If I really want to bring outside money or investors, I don't want to be. I want to be kind of like we talked earlier, like a kept secret. And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, it's okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah.
I have food on my table. So
Yeah.
and to that effect, I always use a sentence that my friend said. I said, I grow by the process of elimination. So the way the saying goes, it's like, if I cut you out of my life, most likely you handed me the scissors. So if people show me, I don't care if I have to gain a lot of money or, or fame or anything like that, but the person does not, I see a negative sign in that person, I'm still going to be respectful.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be polite. I'm not going to make anybody an enemy, but I know I don't want them to be to bed with me.
Yeah.
And recently somebody offered me a lot of money to buy part of my company, but I saw signs that my gut didn't allow me to say yes.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'd rather be independent.
Yeah.
I'll continue working 12 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week,
Yeah.
and I'm happy working. I just love maximizing everything that I have. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, you know, so I live in the moment. I don't, you know, we talk about all the history because it's anecdotal.
Yeah.
For the anecdote, I would speak about it, but I don't lament myself and say, oh my God, you know, like I remember in 1983, I had my American Express card. I went in and I was 26 years old. I looked like I was 18. I was size 27 jeans, white boy, like work a little t-shirt. I thought it was cool because I don't get jeans, size 27. I went and slapped the card on the table. I said, I want to buy a Rolls Royce. And they're laughing at me. And I said, you know, I'm just telling you, at the time the Rolls Royce were not the price they were today. So I said, you know, and for me it was very important. Rolls Royce was important. Yeah. As of today, it's still kind of like in my lifetime since I came to America, maybe for 4 or 5 years, I didn't have a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. It for me was so symbolic to know that I had a Rolls Royce. Mm-hmm. I don't care if I even drive it, just for me to know that I have it.
Got it.
And it was kind of like, I remember when I went then, I said, the car is $112,000. Mm-hmm. I know you have a black on black silver spur, and it was December 1983, after my first year of gas. And I said, I'm paying cash for it. At the time, they didn't take charges on you could pay credit card. They will take, they don't charge you. It was not like change today. I said, I don't want to talk to, I'm talking to you. I don't want to go back and forth to the manager. I'm paying $107,000. If you have $107,000 accepted within 10 minutes, we'll do the paperwork. Otherwise, I'll walk away. And I was like, but again, you know, I'm not saying it that I'm proud that I did that, because I was.
You should be though.
I was an a-hole, you know. Like I mean, I was arrogant. I mean, I thought like you know. 1984, my tax return was $6.5 million.
Right.
You said in 1984, I was making $43,000 a week paycheck that I was taking from my own company, you know, and I felt like I ruled the world.
What you mean? You did.
No, but I did not. I did not. That's the way that's where the mistake is, you know, if I had to look back, because I really only, the way I look at it is, as of today, all of us, we only are, the best way to describe the human being and philosophically and spiritually is we are an antenna, and God feeds us the energy that we want to portray, and we reveal it to other people. And really, we are nothing. And again, I always go with a lot of analogies because I love it, and it's kind of probably the best way to describe how I feel. I mean, if you go to Yosemite Park and you see that beautiful sequoia tree, you know, majestuous, you know, the grand old glory, the general, you know, cars can go under it, and it's like, you don't know how old is that tree? 1,000 years, 800 years, 1,500? I have no idea. But if you look at that tree and you chop it up and chop it up and chop it up, you're going to get 10, 20, hundreds of millions of matches. But if you really think about it, all it takes is one match to burn that whole tree. So that's how fragile we are in this world. God can take us, can give it to us, can take it back to us, can give it. And that's kind of like the process of my life has been like that, from a financial part of it, you know. I was broke 5 years ago. I mean, like broke, not in the sense that, you know, like I was living in the streets, you know, I mean, like relatively compared to certain things, compared to what I had in my life. and it's just like that's where the revelation happened to me that uh, but the only reason why I kept standing and is because Instagram gave me a big push to come back.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize I had 1.5 million followers in 2019, and I just didn't understand that. I didn't like myself. I dyed my beard black, my hair black. I mean, I didn't want to dress up. I didn't want to use the name Jeff Hamilton. I just didn't want people to know who I was. I mean, I tried a couple of ventures in the art business, and but everything failed because really my God-given talent, and I only speak for myself, that makes me happy, is designing with passion. And the greatest feeling I have is when somebody puts one of my jacket and they feel like that feeling that I have. You feel like you buy yourself a second skin. Like when you wear your Rolex, you don't wear your Rolex because you want to know what time it is.
No.
It's because you're not doing it to flex. Neither. I
all.
mean, there is a little part of it. We all do,
Yeah.
but you really do it because it makes you happy.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you achieved something in what you do. And in a way, my jacket had been that.
Yeah.
There is a flex factor of it, but really it's when you look yourself in the mirror, you look at it, you buy yourself a second skin. And
let's talk about that, Jeff, because your jacket is a flex, man. You know what I'm saying? Twin would agree. We all would agree. Like, your jacket did a lot for our culture. You know what I'm saying? It was a piece, like when we speak on nostalgia, we do a lot here. That's definitely something that you got to mention in our culture. Like, how did it get to that, where it just became a thing with us? How did that resonate?
Because just when I started Guess Jeans, I mean, I really felt like I was always an eccentric guy. Always like, look, I'm 69. I mean, I don't think I dress like your average 69. Which is like your dad probably,
Right.
or your granddad. Who knows?
Right.
So, but I am who I am, and I like to be flashy, and I'm trying not to be gaudy, and my kids are embarrassed by the way I dress, and now my wife looks at me and she says, she's okay with it, but once in a while she said, "I really gonna wear that jacket? We're going to rest. Are you really gonna wear that?"
Yes.
Yeah, that I feel good in it. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, I wear my stuff and
People gotta see this, man.
That's funny you said that.
it's kind of like and it's just, the truth is not. There is a flex factor. Listen, I'm a Leo. I'm 9 planets Leo. I mean, of course, I'm going to be. I want to be a shiny penny.
Yeah.
But the truth is, the only word I love about selfish, and it's a misconstrued word, is selfish might be the most beautiful word in the alphabet, in the vocabulary, in any vocabulary. Because selfish is, imagine when you have a little baby, like right now I have my grandson, and I love him. I go out and I buy him toys. I buy him like Gucci shirts or Fendi shirts or Travis Scott's. See, he gives a shit about it. I don't know if I can curse or not.
Absolutely. Talk your shit.
I don't know if he gives a shit about it. But really, you know what? It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Right.
So it make me happy because of my love I have for him. It makes me, I get the love. That's where, when you love somebody, when you're happy to doing something that you do, it makes you happy. So that's where I love selfish. People misconstrue the word selfish. Here, we have $100 between three of us. I'm going to take 70. I'm going to give you 15 and 15. Right. That's selfish.
Yeah.
Like based on contribution, that if we equally do the same work, so that's right. That. But so I believe that there's certain words. Yeah. If it was if my rules, I would add words to the vocabulary, because some stuff like the word hustle, it's tainted.
Yeah.
The word selfish is tainted, but really those are like some of the most beautiful words in the vocabulary in any language, because we use it in the proper way.
So Jeff, now speaking of the jacket, right? Me and Zoe, we been going back and forth on this because, so being from Chicago, we remember the Michael Jordan moments, right? But also being in hip hop, we remember Cameron.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, with the yellow joint.
Yeah.
Who was first?
Michael.
Michael was first, right?
Michael was the first one. Like really, so right away when I had to go back to your previous question, I started making crazy stuff. I started making, when everybody was doing the Levi pants and the Lee and the Wranglers and all the basic 5 pocket jeans, and even Guess did it. And the women's Guess did some stuff outside the box, what they did vests and did pants with flat pants for women and the overalls and things that were a little bit outside the norm of the regular fashion thing. So I kind of tried to push it even more, on my end as men, because women could wear funky stuff. Men were very straight.
Got it.
They would wear, like they love that members only.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody would love the members only. They thought they were the shit once they were the members only in 20 colors, and they had the Dickies pants, and not even barely the sneakers, a little bit like the Adidas, but there was not the, Tim came a little bit after, but there was some kind of like uniform stuff.
Yeah.
Myself, I came out and I just started making the baggy jeans, and I put the flap pant with leather and the buttons on the side and the flap jeans and like even like even what's his name, I forgot the brand, one of the brand, Jimmy, not Aveniti, Jimmy, whatever, one of the brand came in with the high waist pants, and which was a copy of my pant that I made and became the biggest thing in the culture. And I find out that the customers that were buying from me were stores in Chicago, were stores in Detroit, in the hood, like I don't know that mall in Detroit. Like, I remember I went there because I could not believe that they could buy so many jeans from me. And people said, make sure at the time I had like a little chain, like a tiny little gold chain, and then it said, make sure you hide it. And I was the only white dude in the whole mall. And I said, but I'm cool, I'm okay, there's nothing. They didn't know who I was. And they said, no. And you had really, I'm talking about like 1983, 84, 85. I mean, you had the guys with the fur, with the hat, with the cane, you had the pimps. It's like movie-like, and but right away I got into, because I've always been a fan of, as of today, I'm still impressed when I meet a celebrity. I never left. This is a bone of me, an innocent bone of me that never, or trait that never left me. I've met Michael Jordan 100 times in my life, and I'm blessed to have known him for 38 years. But every time I see him, or Mike Tyson, or I meet like a new rapper or somebody new, that a new artist. I was 2 days ago with J Balvin, who's like a personal friend of mine. I can call him, he answers my phone. But my heart beats. I feel like a 2-year-old kid that walk in for the first time in Disneyland and you see Mickey Mouse. And I see that celebrity. People say, "Oh, you're a celebrity whore." No, the people that are famous have something that, again, God. I'm a believer, so I would use God versus universe, but God gave them an aura for them to be able to express themselves, and whether we talked about Little Dirk or Ghana or people like that, those guys have, besides the extreme talent that they have an aura. You're surrounded with them, even though you sit down and you talk to them. And even Travis, I was with Travis Scott last year at Art Basel, but it was like such a quality time, because we're sitting down like we are, like brothers, we're talking and we're shooting the shit, but I don't care about taking the picture. I mean, don't mind. I mean, the truth, I'd love to go. Like when I had lunch with Michael Jordan, like 2 months ago. I mean, he's taking out his shoes. I just finished golfing, and then we having lunch with his son and him, and we talk about all our history and how I gave him the first jacket and this and that, and I'm dying for somebody to say, well, one of many guys take get your picture, you know, because I want it, you know, because I want to document it for myself. But you know, but I also realized that some of my best memories are memories that I have in my head, and like such as me being in the studio with Guns N' Roses when the recording, you know, and where Steve Adler was still the drummer, and they were, you know, like in old alley in the warehouse in North Hollywood, or I was with Mike Tyson in the house of Don King, and he had his old plastic suit, and he was 21 years old, and he was like boxing, and it was 140 degrees, like the heat of blasting, and I could not even walk in. But those are memories that you have and you keep for yourself. I mean, and it's okay. I don't need to document everything. My mind is very vivacious with what I have. I try to stay always, like I said, relevant with my time. That's the reason why I don't live in the past. I don't live in the future. I live in the moment. I try to know what's up with the culture. I try to educate myself. And so to go back to your question, you know, I'm sorry if I go sometimes, you know, Instagram gave me a platform. So one day I look at my DM. I always read my DMs. I always get a lot of DMs, you know, from people, and go figure, I'm like a cult icon in the Philippines. I have no idea why. They love my shit in the Philippines. You know, you know, they've been collecting. They love the NBA. They love the stuff. They love my NASCAR stuff. And I got a DM, and I say, "Wow, you just mean so much to the culture, and you know, and I appreciate what you've done for the culture for me, which is truly the best compliment I could ever do, because I do it for that. Like, you could give me 1 million units from Walmart tomorrow, and I could make $5 million, $10 million on a deal. I would pass it. I am not for sale. I am here to do the things I love to do, and I'm blessed that I'm in a position in my life that I can be myself. With that, I have my filters, which I unveiled, at least you know it. And I can be myself, and just always raise the bar in my game. And the reason why I stayed in the jacket, of course, I can design jeans, and I can design shoes and shirts. And for me, it's not that difficult for me. I know how to do it. You know, I mean, I really wanted to do more the jackets, because the jacket was a way for me to express so much more of myself, you know. And I realized at the end of the day, and that might sound pretentious, but it's the truth, the way I feel about me. I feel like I'm an artist and need to express myself. I need to put it out there. And a jacket for me is a great canvas for me to go out and do my storytelling. And I kind of like bringing more and more, and I find more ways to do it, whether it's like writing through things, whether it's like signing every single jacket that I make. At least people know that it's the real deal. It's I have touched every time you see a piece of clothing that's out there that's by me, it's signed by me.
And I love how they come with the garment bags. Yeah, it's just
but it's important for me to know that there is a direct connection with my DNA. And it's not for the consumer to do it, for me to know that I have reached out to you, whether you know it or not. Definitely. And it's not like an embroidered signature. It's kind of like my own signature. I do it, and I'm, like I said, I bring on more bells and whistles. So I create the actual piece instead of doing my computer CAD art piece, and where I create the process of doing it. So I document the whole process of I create the design, and then I create an art piece based on the CAD, that design. I create an illustration in the mood that I have. Like if I just did the Brabus event a couple of weeks ago in Dusseldorf. And so it's just my feeling of what I feel at the moment.
Yeah.
But I also give them and make available my process.
Yeah.
Or how I document. How I start with a blank canvas and I start painting it. It's like if I was painting a painting on this wall, I would just take a snapshot every 10 minutes of how you see the progress, because I want people to feel how much passion I have in doing the things that I do. And I want my passion to be contagious to the culture, and I was accepted by the culture, when guests, because of the flashy thing that I was doing, I always felt like the African American consumer, which obviously the culture is much more now. You have the Latin, you have the white people, but that really the Latinos that feel obviously still driven by the African American that understand, because like I said, everything goes through the sports and just expands into all the various forms of art, whether it's like fashion, whether like we talked about Allen Iverson taking it to new levels in streetwear, and to the point that the NBA changed the rules of
that's what I wanted to get to.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happened. What was you about to say to him?
No, so speaking of Iverson, right? So the first jacket that you got to Mike, right?
Right.
Then the NBA sort of started to notice, because I feel like everyone started to notice a little later, like, okay, what's going on here? Like, every time Mike win, Jeff Hamilton got one of these jackets for him, right?
Right.
Like, we're going to get to how you got it to Mike, but the relationship, how did that start with the NBA? How did you get that relationship with the NBA? Because people know, I don't know if they know, but you did the NBA 50. Right. You did the jackets for them guys.
Probably they don't.
Right, you probably don't know. He did the NBA 50.
50 greatest players of all time.
As well as the 75.
1987.
That's it. So, and we're going to be doing 100, but how did the relationship, how did that go?
So, believe it or not, it started with the NFL. So in 1988, after I finished GAS in 1986, we didn't finish well because, again, egomaniac that I was, or maybe other feelings from the other side, that I was a one-man show, the girls liked me, I was driving the cars, I was flashy. I mean, I walked into a restaurant, I was a man, I kind of like, and I was not shy about it. I mean, I really felt like I was getting all that because of me. I mean, I didn't feel like it was. So I'm sure I triggered a certain feeling in other people that, whether it was jealousy or envy or whatever, that make me unlikable because, and I didn't give a shit. I mean, I was arrogant and I was cocky, and I was not maybe a good person either. I mean, I remember even with my employees, I mean, I was not generous. I was not compassionate. I was not, I love to scream because grow up in France, people like in the 80s, everybody screams, everybody in the 60s, 70s, everybody screams, everybody make the stuff. So, so the whole relationship fell apart. We got into huge lawsuits, and I remember like 1984 spending $200,000 a month in lawyers. 1984. I mean, how much would it be today? I don't even know, but I didn't care. I had the money. Right. And then ultimately, some common sense came in. They went their way, I went my way, and we settled the lawsuit. In the meantime, I wanted to launch another brand. So I said, why should I launch a brand called differently than Jeff Hamilton, which is not my legal name. My legal name is Jeff Bohbot, B-O-H-B-O-T. But people knew me as Jeff Hamilton, and only used the name Jeff Hamilton because I was tan, and people told me I looked like George Hamilton.
Right. I see it.
So I kind of like, and it sounded really American. I didn't want to have like a French name, even though I still have a French accent, even when I speak English now. Yeah. But I really want to embrace everything that was American. And so that when I started my new company, I called it Jeff Hamilton, and I started doing different things. And for some reason, it was still in my heart, and I felt like I wanted to be loyal to what I did for Guess for Men. So I didn't want to create a company that was going to compete with Guess for Men. So I decided not to be in the lifestyle space. So so we can stop down and continue. Maybe if you want to continue like a sec part two.
Because see, we want to know about that NBA. Which is
no,
right.
I'm going to tell you. So you had time constraints. So I want to tell you, and then you because I told you I give you what I was meant. So the NBA. So when we got to the NBA, and I'm sorry sometimes I go on different angles, but it's kind of like I think it's important for me to explain to you.
That's it.
I want you to know the best and the worst of me as I go. So the NBA, when I started originally, was like, I don't know if Adidas or Champion or whoever, or Nike, they were paying lots of money for the championships to wear the jackets and the stuff like that. And I figure out that I made the jacket actually for 91. I mean, the first jacket I made it for Cliff Livingston. Because he was like the guy who I was like, it was my buddy, you know, and of course I made one for Michael. I didn't do it for the whole team. Then of course after that I only did it for Michael and Scotty. And then, you know, and ultimately I really felt like I don't care. And you know, that's something I learned from Popovich. Because Popovich, when I made a jacket for when they won the championship, I made it only for David Robinson and for Tim Duncan. And he said, you know what? I don't want them to have him. It's either the whole team, either nobody. We only won. And I kind of like that. I say, well, what a dick the guy is. You know, I mean, like I'm just giving them like a crazy jacket. And hindsight, I was a dick. Because like I really appreciate the fact that like the team is a unit, and it for me was kind of like a little bit was completely agenda driven. I wanted people to get the visual of Michael wearing my jacket, you know, which for sure I did. But I also realized that there was something that, and maybe in the 90s was not even what we are today. We want instant gratification. You know, you look at an Instagram post, you know, if it's 3 minutes, you're already on to the next one. If you see a story, you know, I personally don't have the patience to watch television. I don't watch television. I don't watch any shows. I listen to podcasts. I listen to things. It's my number 5555. You see, so that's So it's kind of like I realize that when you win a championship, the biggest prize is getting the ring. So you win the championship June 10th. You get the championship the first week of the last week of October when the season starts. Right. And so there is 5 months that go by where you're the champion, but the only thing you have to show off is like stupid T-shirt and that hat that every fan has. But a jacket is a statement, you know. And in a way, when I never took it from the Masters, but the Masters, it's a statement, you know. But other than the fact that they didn't up their game over 50 or 60 years that they've been doing the jackets. So, but the jacket was a statement that was instant gratification. Not instant gratification, but I really could do my storytelling. I could put 272 and 10 in when they won in 96, you know, and I could put the skyline of Chicago when they won it. I could put like the 6th trophy when it was in 98. I you know, in 97, you know, when he was wearing the patent shoes, I could use the patent trim in it. So there was like my vision of it. Even when I did the 2020 LeBron, which was during the pandemic.
That's what they want to hear.
When you went to Los Angeles, you know, during the pandemic, the skies were orange because there were so many fires. So I wanted people to feel the vibe and
that's why they look like that.
The capturing a moment for me. And those are things that I only know for myself. But that's my feeling of what it was. You know, when Kobe won the first championship in Indiana, it was in Los Angeles, but it was, I use the yellow and the gold and the purple, the gold and the purple, and then, but I really wanted to include more colors. I didn't want to be stuck to the limits that I was given.
Yeah.
Like everybody would just do gold and purple. That's it,
Exactly.
you know. And so I said, let me use the green, because you see Los Angeles, you want the green, the trees, the palm trees.
Yeah.
Let me put the skyline. Let me put what the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Then 92, let me reverse it. They won in the first one. It was against the Pacers. The second one was against the Sixers.
Yeah.
And Iverson. Iverson won the first game in LA, and then they lost all four.
Yeah.
Then I want to get purple, and which is obviously the famous picture, the most famous picture in the history in sports. Actually, was voted the most famous picture in the history of sports.
Let's talk about that. The Kobe picture.
The Kobe picture, yeah.
With the trophy.
And that was so that was purple, and Kobe realized, because Kobe was such a lover and understanding of the culture that Mike brought to the game.
Right.
I mean, Kobe spoke like Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, he carried the legacy of Mike. I mean, he was like really the evolution of what Mike was. The way he played. I mean, as a basketball player, he was awesome.
Yeah.
The discipline, you know, we call it mentality now, but he always had the discipline.
Yeah.
He was the first one in a training camp. He was the last one to leave.
Yeah.
But he loved the game.
Yeah.
You know, and I say to people often, you know, like going back to one of the points I said earlier, the passion of the God-given talent that God gives you. If Michael was not worth $3.5 or $4 billion, and he's 62 years old, you know, you think like right this second in his backyard, you would not should be shooting hoops. Yeah. You'll still be doing it because you love it, and it's just like the passion. If I didn't make money and I didn't have a business doing it, I still want to be creative. I still want to do things, whether it's for myself or for, you know, I don't have any time off. I don't know how to relax because I look at certain things. I look through, especially with social media. I screenshot, I don't know, 50, 100, 200 images, and I just don't even look at them. I just put them in a folder, and I don't know, I probably have 5,000, 6,000 images, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I like your hat. I mean, I'm going to take a photo of it.
You're going to take it.
I'm going to take an image. I'm
going to give it to you.
I'm not going to take it.
No, that's
cool.
I ain't tripping. You know, I got other questions. Yeah,
No,
we bouncing around. We doing this on purpose because we know what you do.
Right.
It's just important that the people watching do. Let me know, like, the process or, like, the inspiration. You did that Get 'Em Girls cam jacket, right? That was the craziest thing in the world at the time. Like who designs it? Like, was that all just you, or did Cam give you some vision? Like, what was to that? How did that go?
Diplomats are not be happy when they hear that, but I'm going to tell it because I love them and I don't care. So the Eagle Diplomat logo, and they probably don't even know it, and whoever designed it, he knows it, was inspired by my Eagle. That was a logo of mine.
Wow.
When I came up with Jeff Hamilton, I had my first jacket that I did was Eagle. And then I think, I might be wrong, my gut feeling is that the Diplomat logo is inspired by me. So I kind of like, but I love the Diplomats.
Yeah,
I mean, because
we all do.
The truth, I didn't know anything about the music.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I was not a big hip hop guy during the 90s, you know, and, you know, I just, I love NWA. Because he was LA and it was Raiders. Yeah. And I love Run DMC because I was friends with them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I always love, even when we come to sports, I love a team if I know the person that plays because it's my friend. Yeah. I can relate. So when the video came out, everybody said, you know, they mention your name. Everybody knows like Jeff Hamilton, Genesis a lot of times. So I said, well, great. Yeah. I never pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Only up till maybe 7, 8 years, 10 years ago, first time ever I saw the video.
What?
Yeah. I knew, I've seen the images of him coming out from the trap with the jack in the back and him wearing the Laker jacket or all the stuff like that, and then I look at the video, and I'm looking at the video carefully, motion by motion, and I see Dante in it,
Yeah.
and I see Virgil in it,
Yeah.
and I see Kanye in it,
Mhm.
and nobody knew who they were in 2002 or 2004 when the video
Yeah.
came out,
Mhm.
and kind of like I said, I cannot believe that there was such an impact, and then up to today, I mean, everybody say, well, Jeff Hamilton, Genesis Leather Time, and Genesis was the place where you bought the jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was the hub. Like,
Wow,
where, and that's how I met everybody, like every rapper, I met them there because I would go to New York
Mhm.
and I would plan morning to night. I stay there because I love hanging there. It just,
Wow.
I felt the vibe, and there was the Pele Peles, and there was the Aviarex, and there was
Right.
like the, XL leathers, and
Yeah.
and then I had mad love for all those brands. I mean, I still Vanson. I mean, I have mad love for all those brands. Everybody has their own identity. The only thing is, I was like double the price on all those jackets,
Yeah.
and more
Right.
expensive. And that's
Yeah.
what came in a way. I don't know, maybe because of the pricing, because of the intricacy of how intricate my jackets were. The price was more expensive, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
I said the price is the price, is because if you find value into something,
Yeah.
it's not the hype. You deliver
Yeah.
what it is, and I was inspired by everything that I saw. I mean, I get inspired all day long by simple things,
Yeah.
and
You know what else y'all got in common, Jeff? You and the Dipset, and it's gonna be a good transition for you because you talked to me and Zoe about this earlier, but we need the world to know this, right? So the Dips was wearing Chrome Heart, right? You know, the streets kind of picked up on Chrome Heart off Dipset, right?
Okay.
We was noticing you, you know what I'm saying, your work, right? Tell the people your Chrome Heart story, man.
so incidentally, like not to switch subject, I'm going to tell you the Chrome Heart story. I see like you wearing like a real representing colors and all that. I did the jacket for Cross Colors.
What?
At the time when
Wow.
Cross
Come
Colors
on,
started,
man.
when Cross Colors came out, like, and I made all the original jackets, for
Wow.
Cross Colors. So
Makes
so
sense.
Richard was like the founder. Richard Stark, who was the founder of Chrome Hearts, who amazing success and amazing talent. I said, when I told you earlier when I was doing the Guess Jeans stuff, he was a salesman. And he said, but he had a big impact in my life also, whether he knows it or not. So he sold me the leather. So I had like all those people coming from Connecticut and all those white dudes, old man, trying to sell me leather. And then you had that really cool dude coming with his Harley.
Yeah.
And, there's a vibe, I'd rather be with you with being with like the guy in the corner. I mean, because I know you and we're friends, we have a lot of stuff that we can relate to. And and he would come and hang with me and spend hours a day with me in my office and shooting the shit,
Wow.
And so when he started Chrome Hearts, he started with 2 partners and ultimately ended up being alone. But he had something that was very different. Nobody had that stuff, and so I commissioned him to, because I love the guy, so I commissioned him to make me stuff for me. So he made me like I think maybe one of the first 5-10 belts he ever made. I still have, and I still wear it.
Wow.
I had like my big chain, and lost it in one of the hotels.
What year was this, Jeff? Tell people what year was
I
this?
think it's. I would like to say maybe like 91, maybe.
That's 91.
91,
Yeah.
92. I think around that, because I remember I had him commissioned because I had him as a jeweler. I mean, I didn't look at it as the vibe of Chrome Heart. I mean, I had him do like some belts from Mike Tyson and from Don King, and that I gave as present, because at the time Mike Tyson was my buddy, and he was 21 years old, and he was like throwing money like crazy, and he was like buying jacket. He bought 300 jackets for me. At the time I was charging him $800 a jacket, but like Huh?
And he bought 300 of them.
He bought 300 of them. And then he put me together with Johnny Gill. And Johnny Gill bought another 200. And then he put me together with Babyface and he bought another 100 jackets, you know, that they gave away. Became like a trend that everybody, you know, Mike was different. I mean, he didn't give it only to his friend. I mean, he gave to every girl he met. you know, Mike was like, you know, like just like that. Mike, out of all celebrities, we mentioned a lot of celebrity names, you know, my biggest love for celebrity is still for Mike, you know, because Mike is as honorable and as warm, as charismatic, as generous, as truth. He's never changed. He's just like he's Mike. He just doesn't, you know, he went through really tough times and everything, but when he was away, I remember writing him a letter every couple of weeks, and he's just like, he never forgot that, you know. And I was just because he was such a good human being. And
now, Jeff, another thing we spoke on, and I just feel like the world, they need to know these collaborations that you've been a part of, that you are a part of. Like, it's so many.
Yeah.
So do us a favor. Feel free to just talk your shit, please.
So let me go back again, because I start something and I'll finish it. So on my Instagram in December 2019, I get a message from one guy. Says, "Thank you so much for what you've done for the culture. I love what you've done with the athletes and then hip hop, and me being from Harlem, you mean a lot to us." I didn't pay attention. I said, "Thank you, my friend." I answer every single one of my DMs. I don't care that I get 600 DMs a day. I answer all of them, whether it's an emoji but I acknowledge them that I'm reading them. And he said, "If you're ever in Beverly Hills, I'd love to see you. I'd love to take you out to lunch." I said, "Who wants to take me out to lunch? I'm not working. I'm at the time in 2019, probably the worst year of my life. You know, I'm very unhappy in life. I'm very unhappy financially. Got into car accidents, you know. I just have like broken hand, broken shoulder, broken elbow. My beard is, like I told you, I'm dyeing my beard. I'm a person that I don't want to look at myself in the mirror. I hate myself. And I look at the page, 15 million followers, A$AP Rocky. You know, but again, I had no idea who A$AP Rocky was at the time. I knew the name. I knew A$AP Mob because I had done stuff, but I really didn't know much about it, you know, really, to be honest. I mean, so I met him. I said, "For sure, yeah, let's have lunch." So I met the next day. I said, "Well, you know, thank you for what you've done for the culture, this and that." And again, like I said, biggest compliment. You know, I've been talking with Don C and Virgil and this and that. You need to bring back the brand back. You know, it's kind of like, and in a way, he is one of the motivators where I decide to come out of retirement. Him, the same thing with Vado and Jim Jones. Jim Jones calls me and he said, "You know, I want you to do, I want to write a song called Jeff Hamilton." And in my mind, I said, "Why would you? Who gives a shit about Jeff Hamilton? I mean, nobody cares me. I mean, I don't get messages. I don't get emails. You know, like everybody's tried to suck the juice out of me, like that they could. They screw me in every single way. All the money I spend in lawyers because people want to get my energy, you know, and copy me and all the stuff that I had. And I said, fine. I didn't even have, they wanted me to be in the video. I didn't want to go and spend a couple of grand to go to New York to shoot the video. So I sent them my personal jackets, and they did the song like Jeff Hamilton with Vado and Jim Jones. And so to go back to Rocky, Rocky says, "You know, I want to make me a jacket. We're doing A$AP Yams in Brooklyn and the Barclays Center in January 14th, 2020. So I said, same things. You know, I'm not going to go and spend $2,000-3,000 to go there. I said, you know, and I want you to make me a jacket making a week. I said, you know, first of all, I don't have the factories anymore. I'm a one-man show. I don't know how to sew. I don't know how to sew a button. I don't know how to sew anything. I don't have any of the fundamentals of being a designer. I'm a creative guy. I can draw, I can paint, but I don't know how to sew a button, you know. And I don't have the machine in place to get the jacket done. So I'm able to create a really cool design for him. He loves it. And I said, but there's no way I can get it done. And he says, so why don't we do, I said, but I can loan you a jacket. So I actually gave him the Kobe jacket.
Oh, wow.
And the Kobe jacket by itself, we could speak about 2 hours about that Kobe jacket, which is the first jacket that was ever made before even Kobe had the second one and Shaq had the third, or Shaq and Kobe had the second one when he's holding the trophy like that. Right. So the first one, which was my prototype, that was the one I gave him. And nobody knew that, and I still have that jacket through a whole big story. And so he wore that jacket. And he said, but I really want you to come. I said, I really don't want to come. I got the phone. His assistant calls me and says, Rocky has, we booked your first class ticket, booked your hotel, booked your car service. He really wants you to be there. So I went there and, everybody was there. Virgil was there. Like a T-Pain was there. 2 Chainz, Jim Jones. He wore my jacket the whole time, it shooted me out, and, on stage. And I felt like, and everybody said, like I'm backstage. And of course, that's when he started going out with Rihanna. And I knew Rihanna because I had done, even while I was in hiatus, I still made 1, 2 jackets here and there. I made the Drake jacket when Kobe retired. I made the Rihanna jacket with like a bunch of weird leaves and stuff like that, So, and everybody was calling me legend. That's a legend for what?
I'm just saying why they were calling you a legend.
I didn't come up with the cure for cancer. I mean, I make stuff that makes me happy, and I make jackets. But as an egomaniac, I loved it, and to go back to one of the points, which I really want to make that point, even though it's out of order. And when we talk about the ups and the downs, I want to get to that point because it's so dear to me, and this is why I am standing today, still. Not that I'm a perfect person, again. And that's from Snoop. I heard that from Snoop. Like he posted it the other day. He said, you can make money and lose money. And you can make money again and lose money again. And that can happen a few times in life. And it happened a few times in life. One thing that you cannot do is have a good reputation and have a bad reputation, because you'll never regain your reputation in your life. Yeah. And myself, I'm very proud to say, other than the people that I pushed out of my life because I really didn't feel like to go back to the point I said earlier, I pushed them out of my life. I don't care who they are and how big they are, because they showed me a negative sign about themselves. I treated everybody the same way, whether you were Drake, whether Kendrick, whether you were Snoop, whether you were Dr. Dre, whether you were a Cube. And I like to think that I've always kept a good reputation, because people knew that I was caring. I was not a groupie. I was not out to get rich off of them or abuse my relationship with them to benefit for myself. So that's the reason why it's an important point to know that who you are, and as consistent. And when you say humble, it's a great compliment, because I want to feel that's a great compliment to know that you know me the way I am. Yeah. That's it. There's no other filters than the one I disclosed.
Well, that could be the reason too why you do so well. I feel like good news travels. You know what I'm saying? They say bad news, but I met you and I couldn't believe how humble you were when we were in Paris, and even before then. But that's when we really locked in, had a good conversation. I'm sure everybody else saying the same thing. But to say that and get some fresh shit from you, Why not? You know what I'm
So,
saying?
like, real talk. He actually answered the DM. When I DM'd him 2 years ago, when Boston was playing Golden State,
Yeah.
I DM'd him like, "Hey, are there going to be any Celtics
I remember you
jackets?"
said that. You did say
The
that.
man hit me right back.
You did
and
say
said,
that.
"If they win."
He did say that.
They didn't win. But he hit
You
me
did
right
say
back,
that.
and I was
Yeah.
like, I
And
said,
the
"There's
truth
something
is,
different about him." Man.
Yeah.
I'm going to be with Steph next Friday. I
Mhm.
just did I did a gold medal jacket for him, and I just did a big collaboration with Rakuten, who are the big sponsors of the Warriors. So I'm sitting on the court, and I'm excited to see Steph because I think Steph is the fourth person that sits at the table with the three icons like Michael, Kobe, and LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care whether you think they're the greatest players and who the greatest players and whatever it is. They're like the three most iconic players.
Definitely.
By none. And that's kind of like why I came back to the NBA first when I came back 4 years ago. I said, I really need to get back to the NBA. Was obviously when that situation happened with Rocky and I showed so much love, I said, I don't care. And Vado's song coming out, I say, I don't care. I'm done. I'm continuing doing it. I don't care if I'm a one-man show and I make one jacket a week or jacket a month. I want to continue because it makes me happy. I love the love that I received, warmed my heart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 2 weeks later, on the 26th, Kobe passes away. So now suddenly, Kobe somewhere blessed me in a way. I mean, I have the blessing of Kobe because everybody knew that jacket, but they didn't know Jeff Hamilton.
Right.
So they felt like suddenly my DM explodes. I have 4,000 DMs. I want to buy the jacket. I don't know how to produce that jacket. So put like a ridiculous price, $6,000 or whatever it was. And I start getting like tons and tons of orders. So I pick up the phone with the NBA because I will not do anything. I told you, I really try to be, I like to live by the rules. You know, and I love rules. I like honesty. I like integrity. I don't like cheating, you know. So I called the NBA and I said, you know, I have all those orders and I don't have an NBA license. I don't want to do something that is illegal.
Right.
And because of my relationship with all those years that I've had since the 80s, when I started with them, they say, go ahead and do it. And I said, let me know, send me a contract, I pay you royalties. He said, no, you do it. And if it gets to a certain level, we'll do it like that.
Right, we'll step in.
Got a blessing from the NBA.
Yeah, and then the machine had gone. I started building up. You know, from that little sparkle, the fire was building.
Yeah.
And then there was a Chicago All-Star game. Then I knew better. I called Ludacris, I called Dave East, I called Vado, I called Jim Jones, I called, I don't remember, like Chance, I called everybody. I said, you know, wear my jacket. I had 10 jackets. I say, I want everybody to wear one of the jackets. They're all going to be sitting on the court. I want all of them to wear my jacket. Yeah. And suddenly that there's just a hype of Jeff Hamilton. You know, in between there is the Super Bowl. So Saquon Barkley wears my jacket. OBJ wants my jacket. So all wearing my jacket. So everybody mentioning Jeff Hamilton. And then I trust them. I mean, I send them the jacket. They send it back to me. There was no game playing, you know, and I didn't ask them for guarantees, just like on the honor system, you know, and they all were good to me. And then right after that, the pandemic hits. No, everybody's frozen. And I look at it and I said, you know what? This is my time when everybody's going to be sleeping. Everybody's going to be watching the news. Everybody's not going to go out. It's going to be quarantining. Me, I'm going to work. And I never quarantined 1 minute. Wow. And I started working, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if people were going to answer my emails. But suddenly the machine already begun. Converse reached out to me. Jonathan Marquette reached out to me. That brand reached out to me. Let's do a collab. I didn't know how much money I was making. Whatever they were telling me, I said, okay, I'm done. I don't care. Just for me to be in the game. Absolutely. You know, and then obviously as things started moving up into the finals and they were playing in the bubble, I called the NBA and I said, now it's time to talk seriously about, no, here, I'm selling jackets, NBA.
Yeah.
I really want to do it legitimately. I want to get a contract. So no doubt the three icons are Michael, Kobe, and LeBron. I was in the locker room with every single game that Michael won.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the locker room with every single game that Kobe won. LeBron, I didn't care about LeBron when he was in Miami and when he was in Cleveland, just maybe because I was at the time maybe more of a Laker fan and, and who knows, and maybe there was not the market, but LeBron as a Lakers is a different dimension. It's like if you had LeBron as the Bulls or as a Knicks, it's a different dimension, right?
Yeah.
So I said, I know I cannot be in the locker room. I tried to get into the bubble. I could not do it. Yeah. But at least let me just do the championship. And the day after they won the championship, LeBron, I went to Rich Paul's house. He said, come over now. I said, I cannot, I'll be there in half hour. He said, no, come right now. Him and AD were there, Anthony Davis, and I had the jackets with me.
Wow.
And they stopped putting the jacket, and then just at least I had the hat trick when it comes to the goats, So
wow.
So now Steph Curry has it also, so it's and Jaylen Brown has it, So I mean, I don't know if you saw the Jaylen Brown.
I saw the Jaylen.
Yeah, and I love that. And I love Jaylen. I mean, I was with him in Abu Dhabi about a month ago for the games when they played the Nuggets. But Jaylen is like, I mean, talking about characters and personality, he has so much love and so humble and so classy and one of the greatest players of all time. And he has the full package and he's good looking. He has all the aura and the charisma to be to what I love, So for me, I was very proud to make a jacket just for him.
No, I love that jacket. That jacket's dope. So, he mentioned goats, right? He's speaking of goats. Hey man, you see that ring on your finger? That's a LA Raiders?
It's the LA Raiders. I got it directly from Muhammad Ali.
The GOAT.
Yeah, so I have a few Muhammad Ali rings. Going back to my youth, like it was my little room in Paris, sharing with my brother, and I had those posters in the room. All those people, I never imagined that in my life I could be friends with. Yeah. And I became friends with, I mean, not friend, but I knew Will Chamberlain. I mean, I pictured Will Chamberlain. Yesterday, I was talking about doing a project for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was at Jerry West's house. I have Jerry West's 75th anniversary jacket that we talked about. I have his own personal jacket signed to me. So Muhammad Ali wrote me a poster where he said to Jeff Hamilton, "We are the greatest." And so for me, it's always like things like that. I mean, they're priceless. I mean, I don't care how much money you could give me. Nothing is for sale. Yeah. I'm not for sale. Yeah. My possessions are not for sale. Yeah. I don't care if you give me X money. I don't care because that's not going to change my life. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, I just bought his car. I was able to look at his car and 30,000 miles in it, an old 1989 Rolls Royce. Like the smell is still there. He was in the car, and so for me, I have all his rings. I have like his fist in brass. I have books signed by him, and he came to my office and I introduced him to all my Mexican workers, and he did his card tricks and his magic tricks to my thing. So those are moments that are, for me, they're priceless. I mean, for me, those are like what made me, I think, a better person, because you see how big those people, and the bigger the celebrity they are, whether you talk about Michael, whether you talk about Kobe, whether you talk about LeBron, Mike Tyson, President Clinton that I love, and like I said, Muhammad Ali. I met Nelson Mandela. Never got the honor to meet President Obama, but those people, you're around them, sitting with them, pure humility. you would not know it. And then you realize one thing, why they are so humble.
Yeah.
Where is when you see Michael going into the street and 100 people going behind, he's going to look like he's like rude and pretentious. He cannot.
Yeah.
Realistically, he cannot do it. But when you're sitting one like all three of us are here, shooting the shit, it's like there's no more humble. He's going to talk to you the way we are, because at the end of the day, he doesn't have nothing to prove.
Right.
He's already done what he had to prove.
Right.
He doesn't need to impress. The people that need to flex are the ones that they need that flex to show you. They want you to give you an image of something that they are not.
Yeah.
For you to like them in a way that they have. When a husband or a boyfriend to his girlfriend, I want you to dye your hair blonde, and I want you to wear those high heels, and I want to put that makeup.
Right.
But the girl said that, but that's not me, So you're getting the girl that he wants, but it's not that. So it's kind of transforming her. It's remodeling her. So be who you are. Be as authentic as you are, and whoever can relate to you. Whoever does not, it's their loss, and whatever it is, it's just be your best self, and always maximize your potential.
Yeah. I mean, I know we'll be going forever, man. Like, this is, we actually going longer, but it's dope because it's always, again, a history lesson, what we doing. I wanted the world to know, just, again, I listen to you with all these names. You know everybody. We all scream you. When people go to your Instagram with y'all, you don't need no help with your Instagram because that shit is crazy already. But everybody rocking with you. When I was in Paris with you, man, I couldn't believe it. I was excited to meet you, man, and you was just so humble and cool. That was the second time we met, but even with you being here now, man, it's just a testament of what you are, man.
Man, honestly, you gave us more than we could bargain for, man. You gave the people more than they knew, than they thought they was gonna know. Like
you made me comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. I'm myself with you guys. I don't need to sell you anything. Like I said, I'm happy. I don't, even if the podcast is not published anywhere, I'm okay just having that conversation because you're a good sounding board for me to express myself and get it out of. Share my experiences, We can talk about my jacket if you want to.
Listen, man, again, right? So look, let's go ahead. Let's talk about this jacket.
So this jacket is like, I wanted to wear it today, like, and not wear like one of my trademark, like python or crocodile, one that you see me all the time, is because usually I don't wear my jackets a lot. I mean, I don't wear my commercial jacket. I love them.
Yeah.
If I didn't love them and I could wear them, I would not put it out to the public.
Gotcha.
First of all, every single design that I make, the ultimate customer is me.
Yeah.
I have to make sure I love what I do, and because it's not based on the commercial value and the profit ways. And having said all that, yes, I love money. Yes, I'm running a business. Yes, I'm motivated by result and the material values. I love watches. I love cars. I love good hotels. I love good restaurants. I mean, I am not that humble when it comes to things like that. So I'm still, I love it.
Same.
I mean, but if I have to be at a McDonald's, I'll be okay also. So it's just not like but I kind of like better the best restaurants. Like I don't. If you're in Paris and during Fashion Week, here I see you seeing me. You're gonna see me every day. I'm at L'Avenue from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock every single day. And I'm gonna be there. And if you come and say hello, I'll buy you a drink.
Definitely.
So I made that jacket actually which was kind of like a great moment in the culture, because I made that jacket for DJ Khaled, who's actually, I think I can say it, is an investor in my documentary. Mark Wahlberg is doing a documentary about my life right now.
Crazy.
And it's going to be, I'm very excited about it because it's going to be testimonials about,
Yeah.
you know, Michael speaking, and Rihanna, and ASAP, and Trav, and Drake, and
Yeah.
and LeBron, and just, you know, like all the Chicago connection, and all the culture stuff that we have. And then for me, it's kind of like, again, it's just not a money play at all. It's just like knowing that when we talked earlier about that little twig and that trunk and those leaves and,
Yeah.
you know, the flowers and the fruit, I might not be here. I might not be here when that apple falls from the tree, and my great grandson bites into it and feel the sweetness of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I call legacy. For me, I'm as excited to know that I'm building a legacy, which sounds very pretentious. Who the fuck I am to say I have a legacy? But it's also the most humble thing that you can say, because you're not going to be there to see the result.
Yeah.
You plant seeds into a field without having the opportunity to see the flowers fully bloom.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 generations from now, maybe like a kid in 100 years from now, we'll see that Kobe jacket and might be inspired. And I know it's going to be there. So whether it's going to be in a Hall of Fame or it's going to be in anything else, it's just going to be there, you know? So let's hope that.
Well, that's the thing, man. I say this, man. First off, you are a legend. You know what I'm saying? Because when I speak on legends, I speak on the time. And for us to talk about different eras, Twin, my man, is really dope with dates. You know what I'm saying? He gonna give you, you know, the stamp. We knew it, like Jeff. We started thinking Jordan. We thinking Cameron. We thinking, like you said, Rocky. We knew everything you did, and to be able just to move through all the eras and still be relevant, man. That's a talent. That's just, we in a game that people are hot and people are not, you know. And I heard you say you went through some shit. We all have, but as far as just the product, that's never changed. I still want a Jeff Hamilton jacket. He still want a jacket at this age, you know what I'm saying? And I just, again, I'm blown away just by the humility, man, which when I asked you early, like, yo, I'm gonna need you, no problem. I love Chicago, you know what I'm saying?
When you asked him in Paris.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, we were only maybe 2 episodes in,
exactly.
no guests.
Before we had no guests.
You were going to be our first guest.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm going to do my part and make sure we continue to push your name, you know what I'm saying? I want a Ghetto Runways Jeff Hamilton jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I just want you to get your flowers.
One thing about trends and fashion is that I might be a little bit different than other brands. I'm not saying I'm not a trendsetter, but I don't follow necessarily what's in the market.
Yeah.
You know, I just, God bless every the other brand that goes out and makes beautiful things. Yeah. I'm on my own journey. Yeah. I do the things. It's like even all the people in the clothing business, you know, I don't mingle with them. I don't fuck with them. I mean, in a way that they do their own things. And, you know, luckily enough, to your earlier question, you know, people come to me, they want to do collaboration with me, and I'm flattered. And I don't care whether it's like Pharrell and BBC and whether, I don't care whether we do 20 jackets. Yeah. We just do MLA on door. We're doing 10 jackets. Because the dollar component is so minimal compared to my pride of me being relevant at a certain moment in time and frozen that moment in time and being able to showcase the best of me at that moment, you know. And for me, you know, we all in the culture, you know, to do, this is my second or third collaboration with Supreme. I mean, you know, Supreme is a holy grail. I mean, when you come to culture, I don't care whether they've had their ups and downs, but it's still there. Doing the Keith collab, you know, we're doing the Casablanca, we're doing Missoni, we're doing Vêtements, we're doing, you know, so all those brands, like right now at Complex Con, we're dropping bathing ape, you know, we're doing extra large, we're opening stores in China. So it's kind of like, let's keep it out there. Let's just try to maximize whatever we want. And I will never be satisfied by anything. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm not retiring. I mean, you'll find me retired, like in my studio, on the ground, dead, because I am not. There is nothing. Like I said, I'm not for sale, and it's going to take a lot for my passion to slow down, because there's so much creativity in me personally that I want out there. You know, like the biggest regret, and we can finish with that, is my biggest regret in life will be that I'm on my deathbed and I said, you know, I could have done that. I could have made this. Why didn't I do this? Why did I do that? You know, and because of the good times and the bad times, you know, and when I was through, and we talked that off camera before, like, and I think it's very important for me to know, is like the best times of my life, the most consequential time of my life, were like the darkest times of my life, when I was hurting, when I was not myself, when I didn't have my groove, when money was tough, when I was suffering, when I was getting old and saying, you know, my game is over. I'm not relevant anymore. And that's why I appreciate every little crumb that I see on the plate. And I don't want to be entitled, and I want to be appreciative of every single love. Like when a young kid, 18 years old, stopped me in the street and said, wow, can I have a picture with you? And you're such a legend, you know. They think I'm making them happy. They don't know how much more they're making me happy, that they're giving me the respect of, I did something out of my love, and people appreciate the love that I have. It's a validation of it. And that money will never buy. Money is always going to be an energy, respect, integrity, longevity, humility, values. That's how I want to finish my life.
Man, well, look, you know, I would tell you this: it's a life well lived so far.
Man,
you know, and as creatives, we can only dream to have that type of esteem and just people that really love what you do. I mean, that's really it. You just want people to love what you've done and put out there, man. So, I mean, Zoe tell you, job well done, brother.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the goats over here, man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for opening the door to me and allowing me to speak my mind, you know, and I'm sorry I'm a little bit speak a little bit too much sometimes, but at least, you know, you know my passion is just, I speak out of passion. I like I said, I'm not selling anything. I love being alive right this second.
Yeah. You look good, man. You're doing amazing things, man. We appreciate everybody. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, we knew what Jeff did. You know what I'm saying? It's just important to the world to understand the Ghetto Runways. It's just an educational course and giving flowers to a legend. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people reaching out, and we not ignoring nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a vital point where we're just like, yo, let's tell our story to these people that we feel like not getting to do that's deserved. And you just heard a GOAT, man. I think this was a super dope episode. Episode 8, Ghetto Runways. Again, like, share, comment. I feel corny as hell for saying that, but that's just where we at right now. That's what's going to keep the lights on and keep us doing what we're doing. Until next time, peace.